So the central Mediterranean route from Algeria, Egypt, Libya and Tunisia to Italy and Malta has been the deadliest migration route in the world.
EU countries have been struggling with the migration issue for quite some time now, and it seems that European countries don't have a unified idea on how to resolve this problem.
Joining us to discuss this issue is Todd Bensman, Senior National Security Fellow, Center for Immigration Studies, former Counterterrorism Intelligence Officer. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So, as we heard, the issue of migration is a very serious one. I mean, its root is at the countries where these people, poor people, are, lured into coming to Europe. But also here in EU, we had a policy of open door policy. Many of the European countries had. Now, is this issue of migration, is this something we can stop at this moment, or is it too late?
Well, my understanding from interviewing the immigrants that are on their way into the EU is that they are going because the EU won't deport them. Nobody will deport them. I believe one of the immigrants that I interviewed from Algeria explained that the lack of deportation is 90% contribution to his decision to go there. For example, that was just one. And so when you have policies of accepting illegal immigrants into the country and then guarantee that they will be able to live there permanently, then they will all come. That's just the basic truth of and the dynamic. And that's what is happening in the EU right now. There are certain countries that are inviting them to come in and stay. And even the tougher EU countries refuse to deport anybody. They have 1.5 million backlog of people that are ordered removed. They already are they've appealed everything they have left, no more appeals, and they still won't remove them.
Yes, it seems like a very, very difficult situation, what we're seeing. And actually, if we look at the concept or the idea of pushbacks, some people have been voicing in a positive light maybe such a notion that maybe, just maybe, the European Union should protect its borders and should start sending people home. Why do you think that this decision on pushbacks is so controversial? Because
pushbacks are incredibly effective. When countries do pushbacks, immigrants stop coming in large numbers. And so the people that like mass migration, and there are many that do like mass migration because it earns tremendous profits for the non-governmental organizations that help them come in and resettle. It's tremendous amounts of money that they earn for resettling these people. They want them to come in, and they understand, those NGOs, that if they can end pushbacks, then they'll make more money. They'll bring more people in, that there'll be more labor, cheap labor. And so there's tremendous financial incentive to oppose pushbacks. But pushbacks work at deterrence. Nobody wants to make a big long trip and spend 10,000 euros on smuggling fees to just end up back where they came from. It's just not how it works.
J&J?
Now, back in the day, we remember pictures from Germany when Angela Merkel herself was welcoming migrants. And, Germany had really an open door policy, and now they saw what happens. I mean, we see increase in criminality, etc. And now European Union countries really are turning their backs at this idea. Now, do you think... it's also controversial that now migration pact that we see in EU, Germany and other countries, they want other countries that did not welcome migrants, like Poland, Hungary, and other countries to have solidarity when it comes to the quotas. Do you think that's fair? Do you think we should follow that? I mean, what do you think will happen? Because it just seems like none of the countries are brave enough to actually push those migrants back.
And actually, our Prime Minister Donald Tusk has said that that Poland won't adhere to the quotas, and it won't pay for the fines that'll be instituted thereafter. So I guess that is a kind of an open question. Is that a good policy approach to the issue in light of this European Asylum and Migration Pact?
I've read the pact and studied it, and when you get down into the details of it, you see that it allows countries to choose to what degree they will enforce the provisions and regulations in it. And as long as you have some countries that want mass migration and others that don't, it will always fail. It is only as good as its weakest link. Slovenia is its weakest link right now. Slovenia is allowing everybody who comes to its border to enter and file an asylum claim, and then they move on into other countries of the EU. And so you might have Poland, I was in Poland, by the way, in December. I toured the barrier with Belarus. I understand what's at stake there. Poland apparently does not want mass migration. I thought maybe Tusk might be amenable to reducing pushbacks, but so far not. And he understands that the moment that he does away with pushbacks, he will have mass migration through that fence coming in from Belarus. Any country that decides to be lenient will sink the entire ship. And that's the problem with your pact.
Right. And it seems like the policy along the Belarusian border has been quite successful, actually, although it has been criticized due to humanitarian concerns. And I think that there can be some legitimate humanitarian concerns, but Poland has also challenged that notion of pushbacks. Is this the direction that the rest of the European Union needs to head? And will the elections that are just upon us and ahead of us, will there be a change in policy due to the results of those elections, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the polling is showing that, many of the European countries, including the ones with liberal governments, are moving to the right on this issue. They're moving to whichever party will do pushbacks and have fencing and keep a tighter control over their borders. But again, all it takes is one weak link and the whole thing falls apart. That means you have a channel right through into the interior of the union. And that's what the main problem is. If you're letting them across the English Channel and then you're not deporting them from the UK, then they'll keep coming across the English Channel. They'll never stop. And that's just the way it works, because migrants will only take this risk and spend this money if they know to a high probability that they are going to get in and stay in for years and years. And that's just the basic dynamics of mass migration. I was in all along the Balkan route, 9 countries in 30 days between November and December, and they are pouring in. I interviewed many immigrants pouring in, and that's what they told me. They're coming in because Slovenia is open.
Exactly. Well, these poor people are being lured in here with a promise of better life.
And encouraged. It seems like they're being encouraged to just come on in. We'll welcome you.
Todd Bensman, Senior National Security Fellow, Center for Immigration Studies, former counterterrorism intelligence officer. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.